to be honest, I don't think everyone should be an entrepreneur. Even if you're smart, even if you have a great idea, like here's a bunch of free ideas that I think are great ideas that I've vetted out over the last few years. There should be a subscription-based holiday decor thing where you can sign up and you can get the 4 holiday package for $50, $100 different price tiers. And every couple months they come in and they drop off 2 or 3 boxes of holiday decor that people can set up in their house or apartment. And then once that holiday is done, they come back, they take the old boxes and they give you new boxes for the next holiday. That'd be great. There's a lot of ways you'd make money doing that. There's a lot of things you could do of working with manufacturers and designers to have various price points and go right to the source of, getting some of this stuff so it's at cost. And then for the customer, they don't have to store this stuff anymore. Every year they can get new stuff. They can keep some of their old, family traditions and old things, but they don't have to store all these boxes because I'm amazed, and I've seen it myself, and by growing up with families, like we have an attic full of all this holiday decor. Most of the time, only half of it gets set up because it's such a pain in the ass to set it all up. At a certain point, for me personally, it's like I don't really care that much, and if we just set up a few things, that's fine. But if you're someone who wants to set up a lot, it becomes expensive, it becomes time consuming. When you move, you have to move all this stuff. That's an idea. Another idea is, those lock boxes at like Home Depot or Amazon or in apartments where you enter a code and you'll pick up your package from there. Somebody should convert those into Facebook Marketplace. And so instead of meeting up with strangers or responding to messages, is this still available? It's already available at a place. You can go and look at it and see it for yourself. And if you want to buy it, you can. Others put it back in the locker and close it and just have a camera on it and have an app that manages all that and just take a small cut of everything. And that way sellers don't have to spend time selling stuff and buyers don't have to worry about meeting up with strangers and having different times. It's like, no, it's all available all the time. No human to human interaction. It's all done through like an escrow system using those lock boxes. That would work for some devices and some things, and there's a lot of problems you'd have to solve, but that's true of any entrepreneurship journey. You're going to have to solve problems. Another one is like collecting Fitbit wearable device data and all these different personal device data. I've already looked into how the medical data gets produced, and it's like, okay, an Apple Watch versus a Fitbit. If I ask for all my data for the last 3 months, those come in 2 very different packets. Somebody should make a protocol where they're the same packets, and then they should sync up with the existing healthcare system, going through and pushing this stuff to EHRs or electronic like health records like Epic or Cerner, which are already used in like 95% of all the hospitals in the country. And then all of a sudden you can put patient data into the traditional healthcare system, because right now there's already a lot of systems of like predictive models that get used. And there's a lot of companies whose whole business model is selling healthcare data. And they should consolidate and build integrations with all the personal device data, consolidate it into or normalize it into a standard like protocol and packets that they can send then to all the hospitals so they can use that data to better treat that patient. Like there's 3 ideas. And I've kind of stepped towards trying to make almost every one of those like a real business. And I come to the conclusion that I don't want to spend the next 5 years of my life trying to make this happen and having a 1% chance of success. And every one of those ideas does utilize like a skill that I have with software engineering or various things of like I know the medical space pretty well because that's where I've worked for the last several years. And yet as an individual, it's like that it's not really going to make me any happier. It's not going to make me a better person. Even if I succeeded in doing those things, I'm not sure it would really matter. And in the case of the holiday decor one, like that doesn't even really align with my values. I think it's stupid that we have all this holiday decor and we're just creating waste and junk that ends up in a landfill just because we want things to look a certain way a certain part of the year. I think that's kind of stupid and I don't believe in it. And so even if I could make money doing it, I don't know if I'd want to. I wouldn't really feel happy about myself when I'm laying there at night trying to go to bed. The other two, I could argue like, well, you're reusing things. With the lock boxes, you're reducing waste that ends up in a landfill. You're making it safer for people to do these things, and hopefully people get better prices, and people who get things that they need, and people who are able to get rid of things they don't need. It smoothens all that friction in that transaction. So it's like, oh, I could see that does align with my values. And the medical data one, it's kind of 50-50, where it's like, eventually that's going to probably get used for nefarious reasons of insurance companies saying, oh, looks like this person doesn't work out, we're going to charge them more because we have the Fitbit data. But maybe it's used in a positive way, and people are actually treated better, and people are able to interject earlier on when problems arise in their health. And so who knows? It's one of those things, like, that's a really complicated thing of how that gets used, and I have ideas of how that would get used in other positive ways. But ultimately, it's just like, I personally don't think I'm capable of sacrificing enough to get to that point. And I don't really even care to be honest. Like, yeah, it would be really cool to build that and have a lot of success doing that, but it doesn't feel like there's a lot of self-expression in that. It feels like, again, the goal of any company is to make money, and so eventually whatever purpose you have in a company, and even a lot of nonprofits, like, it has to be somehow to make money. And I just think there's so much good you can do outside of trying to make money that it doesn't seem like that makes sense, for me at least. And I think everyone's in a different standpoint and a situation in their life, and everyone has different, like, pain thresholds, and are willing to sacrifice different things. Like, I don't, like, today I went for a 2-hour bike ride with my aunt and uncle, and then I went shopping and got some groceries, and now I'm making a video like this, and later I'm gonna practice tattooing and making some art and hang out with friends later tonight. And it's like, that's what I want to spend my Saturday doing, not in an office trying to build a company for the next 5 or 10 years. And so